So the next thing I want to talk about is another simple, easy kind of concept to understand. So let's just say that that's my Cartesian graph. I have got a line here. I have got point A and point B. Come on, focus. You can do it. There you go. Now, point A and point B, well, if we were to look at the difference, once again, same as before, x1 here, this is x2, here is y1 and here is y2, right? So this one would be x2, y2, this one x1, y1, which we did just before in that last video about finding the length of that line. Except in this instance now I'm actually more interested in something called the midpoint. Now, as you could well imagine, the midpoint is the halfway point along a particular line. So the x and y coordinates of the midpoint would also then be halfway between x2, y2 and x1, y1. So how do we go about actually finding that? Well, if we just think about the x value, we want to find halfway between x2 and y2, so halfway along here, right? That's what we're actually trying to do in terms of the x. So knowing that it's halfway, we can say that x minus x1 will be equal to x2 minus x. Now, if x is the point that's halfway, right? That's just what they use. So we're saying that x minus x1 will be equal to x2 minus x. Because it's halfway, that makes sense. So if we rearrange some of these things, we want to lose an x, we want to add an x on this side to cancel that out, and we'll add an x over here. We'll have 2x, and we want to get rid of this minus x1, so let's add x1 here, and that cancels out, and we'll add x1 over here. It's getting a bit messy, but it looks like it becomes x1 plus x2. So 2x is equal to x1 plus x2, but we want x by itself, so if we divide this side by 2 and that side by 2, we end up with x is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2. And honestly, all you are doing is finding the average of the two entries for the value of x. That's it. It goes to show then, it goes on to prove that y1 plus y2 divided by 2 is also how you find the midpoint of the y value. So the midpoint really, in this regard, this point right here, we'll call that point P just for the sake of the argument. If you imagine the little triangles, that would be here. The thing about them is that those, come on focus, those two triangles would actually be exactly the same. They are perfectly aligned, corresponding angles, they have got the same lengths of side, they are indeed congruent. That's the word that we would use. Okay, so that's finding the midpoint. That's all it is.